Hey, Team Oklahoma, good morning. Brett Martin, Chairman of the Oklahoma Veterans Commission, here today with Steve Sibley, the co-publisher of the Oklahoma Veterans Magazine. Today, we're going to ask him some questions about the magazine, where it's at now, where it's going to be tomorrow, and what the future holds. So, Steve, the Oklahoma Veterans Magazine has become a very trusted voice for our veterans community. What inspired you to create this magazine, and how do you see it making a difference in the lives of our great Oklahoma veterans and their families?
Thanks for that question, Brett. I guess really it's based on the fact that I had a great military career. I joined the Air Force in 1974, right out of high school. I was still 17 years old, but I knew that college at that time was not for me. I did a 4x2 contract in the Air Force. And after that 2 years was in active reserve. I went to college, used my GI Bill, and I don't know, it seemed like about 8 or 9 years after my discharge in 1978, I looked up and I had 5 kids. And I'm like, man, I need to find a job that's got some great healthcare benefits and insurance benefits that can maybe get me out of the house, at least 1 week in a month. And I joined the Air Force Reserve, had a great career there, did a total of 9 years. I moved from Arizona to Illinois, and in that transition, I switched to the Army Reserve, did 21 years there, and 12 of that was on active duty. And in fact, I retired from the Active Guard Reserve program at the age of 61 and ended up with a military retirement and 100% disability rating with the VA. So I was very blessed and just felt at that point in time that I had a stewardship for these benefits that I received and wanted to make sure that all veterans received those. I just started doing volunteer work and got affiliated with another magazine at the time. It's called Senior News and Living. And we started doing veteran stories. And from there, we just kind of spun off
Right.
the Veteran News magazine. We started in May. We're getting ready to publish, I guess we're in our 5th month in September. Excited about that. We just did a great story on Jay Bynum
Yes,
from ODVA and
it's a
explained
great
that.
story.
And so that's really kind of what got us started.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, looking ahead, how do you hope to expand the magazine's role in supporting Oklahoma veterans? Are there any particular areas such as mental health, employment, or community engagement where you feel the magazine can bring the most impact?
Well, all those things are areas clearly that we want to engage with. Oklahoma is a state that has a large number of veterans
Yes.
and a large number of patriots. And so we want to bring information to both those groups. Primarily, I want veterans to know and understand what their benefits are. Veterans, my experience is they either don't know or they won't go.
Right.
And so, we've got to change that mindset and that knowledge barrier, not only for veterans, but also for their family members and parents and spouses who have veteran loved ones in their home that they know have issues and problems and that maybe aren't inclined to go and seek help. And we also want to provide that information to them and just Oklahoma Patriots in general. I mean, everybody seems to know a veteran.
Yeah.
We all run around with our hats on, and I wear mine all the time because it creates conversations. And when people come up to me and say, "Thanks for your service," I always say, "Well, thank you if you're an American taxpayer, because we wouldn't have any of the benefits that we have." And basically, that's the goal of the magazine, to provide information and resources for veterans, their family members, also great stories of interest about veterans and what's going on in the veteran community in Oklahoma, and also give opportunities for our veteran business owners to advertise, for companies who want to or who do service the veteran community. A lot of our advertisers are VA community care partners,
Right.
and they want to get the word out there. And we want to get the word to veterans that these people in our magazine, if you need care from them, you can go to your community care provider and through the VA and say, "I want this particular person's help in my life to provide services. So that's really overall what we're looking to do.
Oh, wonderful. Well, the Department of Veterans Affairs here in Oklahoma plays a central role in providing direct services. How do you envision the Oklahoma Veterans Magazine working alongside ODVA to amplify the resources, raise awareness, and better serve our veterans statewide, Stephen?
Well, I can't imagine having an Oklahoma Veterans News magazine and not working hand in hand
Yeah,
with Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs. We want to be a platform for information for them. We want to be a resource for ideas and on how we can expand the reach of Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs. I think there's around 250,000 or more veterans in Oklahoma. We need to reach all of them.
right.
One of the things that we've proposed to do through our relationship, not only with the Veterans News magazine, but Senior News and Living, there's a lot of veterans in these retirement communities.
Yes.
And we have great relationships with them through our senior magazine, and we want to leverage those relationships to bring that information directly to where those veterans live.
Sure.
And so we're working hand in hand with ODVA and some of those, or a number of those communities within Oklahoma and other providers to help us engage specifically in those communities. That's just one way that we can help. A lot of these people in these communities are independent living, but eventually they may have to transition
Sure.
into assisted living. Well, Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs has these great veterans homes, but a lot of people don't know about it. So that's the kind of information we want to bring to these residents and also the staff members about, if they've got veterans, well, let's get them engaged with ODVA and staff and veterans and their spouses, and make sure that they're taking advantage of these great benefits that are out there for them.
Well, super, Steve. Okay, my last question for this morning. Many veterans feel the stories aren't always told or heard. What opportunities does the magazine provide for veterans themselves to share their voice, and how can organizations like the American Legion or ODVA partner with you to bring these stories forward?
Well, we do go out to probably about 80-90% of the American Legion of VFWs in the state of Oklahoma. We're mailing out half a dozen copies right now. They're getting passed around, or we're getting calls from veterans and talking about things they know, people they know, things that are going on. If we find an interesting, compelling story, we'll assign a reporter to that and try to get that information. I'll give you another. For instance, I was traveling. Actually, it was when I went to Claremore.
Yes, sir.
For the meeting. I got a phone call from a gentleman who had a restaurant in outside of Glenpool, Tulsa. And he said, "How can I get the magazine in my location?" Well, on the way back home from that event, I drove by. He had told me and shared with me he had a bunch of veterans that had followed him in his restaurant for over 30 years all over Tulsa, and now he's in Glenpool. He said, I have a list of over 150 veterans who have 100% disability who attend my restaurant. And he said probably 50% of my clients are veterans. So that's, right there,
Wow.
a great story about this gentleman who owns this restaurant, who has this great following of veterans, and we're trying to set up a story for that. And I've had people just call now. They get the number out of the magazine and call and want to talk about what it is they're doing. We have reporters that we can assign to. So if you're and if you're a commander of American Legion and you see our magazine and you got a great story, feel free to call. We'll try to do what we can to do that. We're running press releases also for ODVA and other organizations. If you've got something going on, we want to help promote that for you in the magazine.
All right. Well, Stephen, on behalf of all the veterans across our great state of Oklahoma, just let me say thank you. Thank you for being the voice and the vision of communication for our veterans. It's important that the word gets out often and consistent, and you certainly are doing that today. So greatly appreciate your time today. Well, Team Oklahoma, that's what we have for today. For God, country, and service, till we see you again next time, take care of each other.